In this video, we're going to be reviewing graphing linear equations and solving for y. First off, we're going to give you a couple examples to help refresh your memory on how to graph lines. Right here we have the equation for a linear function is y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept form. The m, which is the number in front of the x, is the slope. That is rise over run. The y-intercept is the letter b. When we go to graph and we have it in slope-intercept form, the first thing we are going to do is graph the y-intercept. The second step would be to graph the slope. So as I move down here, for example, right here we have the y-intercept to be -3. So right here, the first thing you do is go and put a dot at -3. Then the slope, remember it's delta y over delta x, the change in y over the change in x. So the top number tells you to go up and down. The bottom number is to the right. Okay, so we would start here and we go up 2 to the right 1 and put a dot, up 2 to the right 1 and put a dot, and we can also go backwards by going down 2 and to the left 1. Now, so that's what this says. Whoops, let's see if I can move this down a little bit. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, so the next one right here, the first thing they did was they found the y-intercept at +5 and put a dot. Now the slope, remember that's the number right here in front of x, which is -2/3. The top number, it's a negative, so it's going to tell me to go down, and the bottom number to the right. Down 2 to the right 3. Down 2 to the right 3. And I can go up 2 and to the left 3 to be able to graph and going backwards to draw your line. So right here, as we go through and do this, the first thing you're going to do is plot this y-intercept. So I'm going to go, remember this is x, the horizontal axis is the x, and the vertical is the y. I'm going to go up to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to put a dot. Now that's step 1. The second thing I'm going to do is this slope right here. And if it's not a fraction, then you put it over 1. So my slope is -2 over 1. The top number is negative, it's going to tell me to go down, and the bottom number to the right. So I'm going to go back to my y-intercept. I'm going to go down 2 to the right 1 and put a dot, down 2 to the right 1 and put a dot, down 2 to the right 1 and put a dot. Now I can also go backwards and go up 2 to the left 1, up 2 to the left 1. Then I'll go and I'll draw my straight line. And there, now I've graphed it. Now if you wanted to check it, you could go in your calculator and go to y equals, oh, let's see here. Oh, I need to shout this board real quick. And we'll go right here with the calculator. And I can go, I'll pull my board back up. There it is. I can go over here and go into y equals and put in there -2x plus 5 and press graph and make sure that it is graphed the same way. It is a negative, it's a negative slope, so though my line is decreasing and my y-intercept is up here at 5. Okay, let's look at the next one. The first thing you're going to do is plot this y-intercept right there at -1. Put a dot at -1. The slope is 3/4. Okay, so it's already in a fraction. We're set up well. The number is positive, so I'm going to go up, and the bottom number is to the right. So I'm going to go back to my y-intercept and go up 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a dot. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a dot. Now I need to go backwards, and I'll go back to the y-intercept, and I'm going to go down 3 and to the left 4 and put my dot. Then I'll get my straight line and connect the dots and make my straight line. Here's the next one. Plot the y-intercept -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The slope, now what is the slope? It's the number that's supposed to be in front of x. Remember y equals mx plus b. Well, there is a number there, it's just not there, it's just not written. It is a 1. So my slope is 1, and I have it over 1. It tells me to go up 1, and to the right one. So I'll go down here to negative 6, go up 1 to the right one and put a dot, up 1 to the right one and put a dot, up 1 to the right one, and I will keep going up 1 and to the right one. I can go backwards, remember, and go down 1 to the left one. I'll take my arrows and I will connect them. The next one, remember y equals mx plus b? Well, here's my m. This is my m, but what's my b over here at the end? There's no number there. If there's no number there, it's plus 0. So you go to 0 and put a dot. The slope, negative 1/2. Down 1 to the right 2. Down 1 to the right 2 and put a dot. Down 1 to the right 2 and put a dot. Down 1 right to the right 2. I can also go backwards and go up 1 to the left 2. Up 1 to the left 2. And I'm going to connect my dots. All right, now let's go back to reviewing for solving for y. The first thing you're going to do in solving for y, this right here is in standard form, and we're going to move it into slope-intercept form. You're going to move the x over to the other side, so I subtracted 3 from each side. Then I would have divided by negative 2. And here's what I would get. Negative 3 divided by negative 2 is 3/2 x. 18 divided by negative 2 is negative 9. The next example we have right here, you would add 4 to each side. You get 8y equals 4x plus 18. So you divide by 8. And right here, so 4 divided by 8, that's a fraction. It's 1/2. 18 or 16 divided by 8 is plus 2. So let's try these to move them into slope-intercept form. You would first subtract 3x from each side. You get negative 6y equals negative 3x plus 6. You could write it as negative 6y equals 6 minus 3x. It means the same thing. It doesn't matter what order. I would then divide by negative 6. Even if you wrote it in the other order, you would still do the same thing up here, dividing by negative 6. Now these cancel. A negative divided by negative is a positive. I get y equals negative 3 divided by 6 is positive 1/2 x. And if you don't remember that, remember you can go in your home screen and put in there, let's clear that out. I can put in there negative 3 divide negative 6 and press math, enter, enter, and it will reduce it for me. Then 6 divided by negative 6 is negative 1. There's my equation in slope-intercept form. Now what number is the slope? The slope is 1/2. The y-intercept is 0, negative 1. Well, can you tell me, is this line going to be increasing or decreasing? It is going to be increasing because this slope right here is positive. Can you tell me, if you can remember, if this equation is going to be proportional? What does proportional mean? Proportional means it goes through the origin. It goes through 0, 0. Remember 0, 0 in the name? It does not go through 0, 0. The y-intercept is 0, negative 1, so it is not proportional. Let's look at the next one, number 6. Let's solve for y right here. You would first subtract x from each side. You get 2y equals negative x minus 8. Divide by 2. All right, now right here, there's a couple ways you can write this. You get y equals, this is a 1 in front of that x, so I have negative 1/2 x minus 4. Or you can even write it y equals just negative x divided by 2 minus 4. Both of those right here are correct. Next, solve for y on these two. You would add 5x to each side. You get negative 5y equals 5x minus 10. Now you divide by negative 5. Y equals negative 1x plus 2. Next one, add 2x to each side. You get y equals 2x minus 3. It's already in y equals form, so this is as far as I have to go, and that's my answer. Here's two more. First thing I need to do is add x to each side. I get 4y equals x plus 8. I'm going to divide by 4. I get y equals, now, remember there's a 1 in front of there, so you can either write it as 1/4 x plus 2, or you could just write it as y equals x divided by 4 plus 2. Both of those are correct. Number 10, the next one. You would subtract 5x from each side. Negative y equals negative 5x minus 3. And you will divide by negative 1 to everything because y cannot be left as negative. It has to be positive. Y equals 5x plus 3.